streets. You know what I'm saying? They were a product of their environment, you know,
Mhm.
and that's when I look at that story, that's what I see. You know what I'm saying? We were deprived certain normal resources that a human should have that, you know what I'm saying? We hustled by any means necessary to make it out. And then when we made it out, we were so flashy and all that stuff because we ain't have that. So it's like when you make it out, you just want to start wilding and start flaunting left and right.
Of the freedom of speech.
The other side of the non-disclosure agreements, the agreements. Oh, and Broadway is probably a real good avenue to get there. Doing that.
Facts,
Talk.
fact.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Talk about you brought it up in a couple minutes ago on the perception of how we were looked at as far as the street life is concerned and how you didn't really want to promote that. We see the BMF series, we've seen Power and shows like that, Empire, things like that, where it was almost that the gangster lifestyle was almost glamorized to where people in positions of influence were influenced and looked at these things like these people are cool. Southways T is cool. Meeks looks cool. Their gear is fly. Them cars are fucking dope. They look cool. They got the girls. But we know and eventually the end role that takes. Talk about the importance of the imagery that we see on TV nowadays and how in interviews and other places you try to make sure that you let people know it's not cool to live these lifestyles and these kind of lives that these people are living.
Right. And see, I can only really speak on BMF because
Yeah.
I'm not a part of those other projects, but you know, BMF is a true story. You know what I'm saying? So this ain't no make believe character that I'm just playing just to be cool. And I mean, when you consider considering the history of black people in this country, black people were trafficked into this country and they had to make it out by any means necessary. You feel me? Like they didn't
Mm-hmm.
have no opportunities, they didn't have anything. And you know, when yeah, they're free from being slaves, but it's just like they had to go back to start working for the master again for pennies, and that's minimum wage. So it's like that's really you can't really live off of that. And I mean, they came from a two-parent household, you know, parents in church and working multiple jobs, and that still wasn't enough. I think this is a story just of a black man in America that is just like, you know, at that point, considering Detroit was the murder capital of America, the government was putting these drugs in the streets. You know what I'm saying? They were a product of their environment, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when I look at that story, that's what I see. You know what I'm saying? We were deprived certain normal resources that a human should have that, you know what I'm saying? We hustled by any means necessary to make it out. And then when we made it out, we were so flashy and all that stuff because we ain't have that. So it was like when you make it out, you just want to start wilding and start flaunting left and right. You feel me? But that's just a true story about, you know, the African American lifestyle in America, especially like in the 80s, you know what I'm saying? But now, I mean, the game has changed a lot. There's more opportunities available to us that, you know, T and Meech ain't have. But yeah, I just think this is just a story of, you know, two brothers that grew up extremely poor in Detroit and they just wanted to make it out and that's how they made it out. But when you talk to T and like I talk to T a lot and you know what I'm saying? This is something that he ain't gonna promote this. I remember on Halloween a lot of kids was dressing up as me and Meech and
Mm-hmm.
he made a post and he was like, oh yeah, this is cool and all, but make sure you be like the actors Da Vinci and Lil Meech instead of me and my brother. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't like he's not trying to promote that. You know, that's all they had. That's all they knew. You know what I'm saying? If they had parents that was, you know what I'm saying, that was scientists or doctors in a better area, like who knew what the fuck they would have became? They could have created Google or Apple, like the two
Yeah.
brothers
Right.
this broke to come together and
That's right.
create this while they had nothing. That's crazy. Like imagine if we had the same hand as a Caucasian family. You know what I'm saying? The hand that they're dealt. You feel me? And for them to create that, and you know, not only did they, you know what I'm saying, like yeah, they did that, but they also was helping. They gave people scholarship. They gave people jobs. They funded people businesses. You know what I'm saying? They really didn't just, you know what I'm saying, think for themselves on some selfish shit. You know, so it was like they tried, but you gotta. I feel like we're like you know, like Pac said, a rose coming out of the concrete. You know what I'm saying? We kind of fucked up and retarded from slavery. You know what I'm saying? So we climbing out of the trenches. So you can't expect us to just come from that to, you know what I'm saying, be Steve Jobs. We don't got Steve Jobs' hands. Like, we wasn't dealt those hands, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're black, you got like 3-4 strikes against you when you come out the womb. So, and I love that this is a true story, you know, and we're just telling the true story. And thank God for interviews, because, you know, when we speak and when people hear me speak on it, I'm not promoting violence and shit like that. And then people think we are promoting that. It's like, it's cool, because when you watch NCIS or you know what I'm saying, that any of these crime shows, do you watch it and be like, oh, I'm gonna commit this crime, but I'm not gonna do it that way because this is how this person got caught on TV? No, you just watch it. Like, people don't say that because it's like white producers that's doing it. But whenever it's something black, it's like, oh, why are you perpetuating XYZ? But all these horror films, all these, you know, psychotic, you know, different thrillers and suspense things that, you know, that's being produced by white people. It's like, yo, they're perpetuating murder and stuff like that. They're showing that, but it's cool. But it's like, when black people do it, it's like, why are you only doing XYZ? But thank God for interviews, like I said, because then I get to, you know, articulate myself and explain, like, yo, we're not trying to tell you, like, to make it out like the way Meech and T did. That was a different time. That was a different era. And that's not what we're saying. You know?
Definitely. That was gold right there. I want to ask you, we're going to definitely respect the time limit here, about, you know, Southwest T. He did, you know, apply for a compassionate release. He was granted that. Big Meech applied for that. He wasn't granted the compassionate release. And he's looking at like 6-7 more years. How do you feel about him being denied his compassionate release?
You know, honestly, that ain't where I come from. I don't speak on that stuff. I don't speak on that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't my business. You know what I'm saying? I wish they both was out. You know what I'm saying? But that ain't my business. So I really don't even speak on it. You know what I'm saying? I don't speak on what conspiracies I think, what I hear, whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? All I can say is that I wish they both was out, you know what I'm saying? And they both living their best life. But as far as like the details, stuff like that, I don't know. That ain't my business. You know what I'm saying? With all due respect, you know what I'm saying? Meech's a cool dude. T is a cool dude. And I wish they both was, you know, granted their freedom. But I think they reduced Meech's sentence. So that's good. So I mean, I can't wait to meet the man in the flesh. You know what I'm saying? I already met T. So when I talk to both of them, that's gonna be crazy.
Yes, sir.
I spit white like a clan mask, and I'm a hustler. I could stand out on the beach and sell sandbags. Some things can't last, but this ain't just a podcast. This is Sam Ant and Old Godcast. Hip hop uncensored is the vibe, so subscribe. Hip hop uncensored is the vibe, so subscribe. Oh God, driving Sam Ant riding passenger side, and you heard it out the mouth of the greatest rapper alive. Hip hop uncensored is the vibe, so subscribe. Hip hop uncensored is the vibe, so subscribe. Oh God, driving Sam Ant riding passenger side, and you heard it out the mouth of the greatest rapper alive. Go gang.